Good morning, everybody. I'm here to just let you know about our new series that's starting today. It's called By Faith, and we will be looking at people who lived during Bible times, who lived their life not perfectly, but by faith. They trusted God to the end, and they might have made mistakes. We've learnt about someone already, Moses, over the last few months. We've been doing about Moses, and we know that he had a up and down kind of life. There were some things he did wrong, and there were some things he did right. But the one thing that it says in the book of Hebrews in the New Testament, in Hebrews 11, it says that Moses lived by faith. But he wasn't the only one. There were lots of other people as well mentioned in Hebrews 11, people who lived by faith. Now, if you remember from last week, faith is knowing the assurance of things hoped for, a real conviction, and knowing inside of things that you don't see but you know to be true. So, for example, I'm sitting on a bench and I can see the bench. I haven't weighed the bench, but I am trusting that the bench will hold me during this little section, that I won't end up on the floor. But there are lots of other things, as we said last week, that we have faith in. We have faith at the moment that our heart, we see pictures, we can hear it, but I've never seen my own heart. I don't know what it's like, but I know that it's there. And there are so many things in the Bible where God encourages us to live by faith. He's telling us about these things, to hold on to them. We might not see them all the time, but we have this knowledge deep down, this conviction, a feeling that it is true. And so we're going to be focusing on that over our next few weeks. And I think it's a really good time to do that, because I know some people, their next week is going to be very different. You might be going back to school or nursery, you might be going off to university, or you might be starting a new job. But also your week might be exactly the same as the rest of all the other weeks that we have had. But you still need to live by faith, because whether it's change or whether it's actually trying to work out how do we do this kind of thing with the same things going on, then we trust that by faith God has good things for us. That's what it says in the Bible. And there are good things ahead. He has plans and purposes to prosper us and not to harm us. So we live in the difficulties and in the joys by faith. And our activity today that we're going to do is focusing particularly on Hebrews 12. So after in the book of Hebrews we've had this list of all these names, people like Noah and Enoch and Gideon, and we're going to find out about who all those people are over the next few months, so don't worry, but you can have a little look early if you like. But we're actually going to focus on the bit in Hebrews 12, which says that therefore, since we have all these people who have lived by faith, then we should try and do the same. And it describes all these people as a big cloud of witnesses. A big cloud. There's so many of them, so many people watching. It looks like this big cloud of witnesses. And we'll find out a little bit more about this when Graham speaks later. But it's just to encourage you that even if you feel you're on your own, at this point in the book of Hebrews, it says you are not on your own, because there are other people who have lived before you who also believe the same thing as you. Not only are those people in the Bible, but there are also people nowadays who try to live by faith too. There are people like Mary Berry who follows Jesus. And she's trying to be part of one of those big cloud of witnesses. So she's cheering you on as well. And all sorts of people that you can think of. Stormzy, we hear he follows Jesus. Bear Grylls, we hear he follows Jesus. There are friends and family around you. People at church who maybe you've not seen in months. But they are part of this big cloud of witnesses cheering you on, saying, go on, going. You're doing really well. Keep going. Keep living by faith. So to encourage us this morning and to help us to remember about this cloud of witnesses, people, and it's kind of a picture that we have of being in a stadium. It says we're about to start our race, and as you're in the race, you've got all these people shouting down as if you're in a stadium, like an Olympic stadium, and they're shouting, go Shelley, go Shelley, go Shelley, just like they're shouting to you too. So to remember that picture, that we are not on our own, that we live by faith and we're surrounded by all these people, this cloud of witnesses, so many of them. We're going to make a cloud of people now in art. And all you need is some paint, some paper and your hands. Okay, and what we're going to do, because every person has a fingerprint and every fingerprint is different. And so what we're going to do is imagine that we're in the middle and we're trying to run our race, and there's all those people around us, people who we have met, people we have not met yet, but we will in the future, people who we will never meet until we're in heaven, and who are all shouting and encouraging you to keep going in your race of faith. So what you need is your finger, your paper and your paints. And imagine you're in the middle and we're going to put this cloud of witnesses around you. So I'm going to start with yellow. There we go, look. And I'm just going to dot it, can you see, in a circle like this. And you can change your colour, by the way, whenever you like. So I've got some green. There we go. So you put your people on like that. And then I'm going to go for a bit of blue. And gradually, see, I've got a bit of green and a bit of blue on my finger, but you know what? I don't mind. If you don't like mixing your colours, you might need a baby wipe or a tissue or something, so that as you keep going, you might want to wipe your hands. But I quite like it when the colours get a bit mixed up. So all I'm doing is going round that circle with different fingerprints like this. And each one is representing, each one is a different, we're going to pretend is a different person who is cheering you on at the moment. So whether you're thinking about what tomorrow brings and you think, oh gosh, I'm on my own and I don't know what it looks like and I'm not sure, I'm not very good, and what if it goes wrong? Just remember that we haven't just got God and Jesus and the Holy Spirit inside us, but also reminds us in the book of Hebrews that we have all these people cheering us on and encouraging us in our journey. And if they did it and they weren't perfect, then we can try as well. And maybe this week you might want to encourage someone else, cheer someone else on. You might want to be part of that cloud. So you might want to do one of these pictures and then send it to someone and say, look, I was thinking of you and I am cheering you on in the race. Yeah, can you see this is getting bigger and bigger here? Now again, this is quite fun because you can like spread these out as much as you can. I've actually got a square piece of paper here. So a square is quite nice because, you know, it's a bit like the shape of have you seen an Olympic stadium? It's everyone sits around the edge, don't they, and watches what's going on in the middle. There you go. When I was younger, someone was praying for me and they had what they call a picture from God for me. And they said, remember, Shelley, in difficult times when you feel like you're on your own, God is cheering you on. He's going, go on, keep running. And sometimes there'll be people who will run alongside you and you'll see them. And there'll be other times where it will feel like you're on maybe like a bit of the marathon where there aren't many people around and you wonder what on earth you're doing. But it's okay because God is with you and he knows. Can you see this is getting bigger and bigger? I'll just do a couple more because I don't want to take up the whole of the morning. I think you get the gist. But the good thing is this, whether you're little or whether you're big, you can have a go at this. Yeah. And as you're doing it, maybe with each spot, you could even make this into a prayer, you know. So as you're doing it, just with each dot, just think of a different person and go, God, be with that person, cheer them on. Be with that person, cheer them on. What a great picture of church this could be, couldn't it? Okay, so I'm going to stop there and I'm going to keep going, but I'll show you what this looks like later. But you enjoy your morning and remember that God is with you and he wants to encourage you. And over the next few months, do join with us as we journey to really know and really realise what it's like to live by faith. Bye-bye, everybody.